The Oscars are this Sunday, so it's finally time for me to emerge from my YouTube cave and actually post on this channel again. Just like last year, I'm going to be doing my picks and predictions for who will win, as well as who I would like to win. A lot of these I actually overlap with the Academy, which is interesting. But there are also some that I completely differ. This is one of the most interesting years I think we've ever had. I feel like a lot of the previous years, I started watching the Everything Everywhere All at Once year. So that would have been the 2023 Oscars. And, like, I feel like that year, the Oppenheimer year, the Honore year, like, all three of them were, like, decently easy to predict. They're just, like, there's a lot happening that I just have no idea what to do. All the acting races are just, like, ridiculous right now. Just like last year, I'd like to start with the short film categories. I'm going to start with live-action short film. The nominees are Butcher Stain, A Friend of Dorothy's, Jane Austen's period drama, The Singers, and Two People Exchanging Saliva. I have seen two of these. I've seen Jane Austen's period drama, and I have seen Two People Exchanging Saliva. I think that Two People Exchanging Saliva is going to win. It almost feels like a feature film. Like, it's pretty well executed. I personally would vote for Jane Austen's period drama. That short film is so balls to the walls insane. Like, I watched it, I think at like 2 a.m., and I just remember sitting there and just being like, I have zero clue, like, how, like, this is just ridiculous, and I'm here for it. Like, it's so out there and nuts, and I loved it. So I think I would vote for that one, but I do think that the winner is going to be Two People Exchanging Saliva. Next, we have documentary short film. The nominees are All the Empty Rooms, Armed Only with a Camera, The Life and Death of Brent Renaud, Children No More, Were and Are Gone, The Devil is Busy, and Perfectly Estrangedness. I actually have seen none of these so far. I believe All the Empty Rooms is on Netflix, so I'll probably watch that before Sunday. But so far have not seen any of these, because the majority of them I just haven't been able to get to. But of these, I think All the Empty Rooms is going to win. I've heard pretty good things about that one. That seems the most like the Oscar winner there. Next up is animated short film. The nominees are Butterfly, Forever Green, The Girl Who Cried Pearls, Retirement Plan, and The Three Sisters. In contrast to past years, I've actually seen 4 of the 5. Normally, the animated ones, I have like a hard time actually finding them. But for some reason, this year, like, I was able to find 4 of them, which was a pleasant surprise to me, because the animated short film category might be my favorite of the short film categories. And it shows, because of the 4 nominees that I've seen, I've liked all 4 of them. However, there is one that particularly stands out to me as my favorite, which is Butterfly. I think the animation is excellent. I think the storytelling is really what brings it home. Like, the way that they tell that story, I thought was magnificent. I really need to show it to my mom before Sunday, because I think that she'd really like it. I do also think that Butterfly is going to win. If I had to pick a runner-up, The Girl Who Cried Pearls is really good. Like, it's really good. I could see that being like a sneaky win. Then we have visual effects. The nominees are Avatar Fire and Ash, F1, Jurassic World Rebirth, The Lost Bus, and Sinners. Don't need to spend too much time on this. This is the Avatar Award. The first 2 Avatars have won. The third one will win. I don't even necessarily think that, like, any of the other nominees are, like, super strong contenders. Sinners. Like, I would love to see Sinners come and pull off, like, a sneaky win in this category, because I think that the VFX in that film are quite good. But realistically, Avatar should win, and Avatar is going to win. Then we have Best Sound. The nominees here are F1, Frankenstein, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Surat. F1 will probably win here. I think this will be F1's one and only win of the night. I feel like there's kind of a movie every year like this. The majority of the time, like, there's that one movie that's kind of a crowd pleaser that gets into Best Picture, that's kind of like spectacle-esque or like blockbustery, and they kind of shut it out of the major awards, but they'll give it sound. That was Top Gun Maverick, that was Dune last year, and I think that'll be F1 this year. Granted, I would not actually vote for F1, I would vote for Sinners here. I think Sinners is one of those movies that it's not, like, F1 is the one that you think about, oh yes, like, vroom vroom, all the crazy cars, like, you kind of think more about the sound design. Sinners is the movie that I feel like it's kind of sneakier in its sound design, but I actually think that it's more impressive. I really hope Sinners wins, but it won't. F1 will pretty handily take this, I think. Then we have a trifecta of Frankenstein awards, starting with Best Costume Design, the nominees being Avatar: Fire and Ash, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, and Sinners. Frankenstein will win here, and Frankenstein should win here. I would also love to see Sinners or Marty Supreme win. Again, both of those are kind of, like, more sneaky in their costume design. Like, Frankenstein's very, like, big and bombastic with, like, its crazy dresses and whatever. But I think that Sinners and Marty Supreme are both very clever with their costume design. Like, I love the little touch of, like, the red and blue hats that Smoke and Stack wear in Sinners. Makeup and hairstyling, the nominees are Frankenstein, Cuoco? Hold on, let me figure out Kokuo, Sinners, The Smashing Machine, and The Ugly Stepsister. I had not even heard of Kokuo or The Ugly Stepsister prior to this, nor have I seen either one. But here, Frankenstein will win. Again, Frankenstein should win. And the final Frankenstein win of the night for production design, the nominees are Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. As I alluded to, Frankenstein will win. Frankenstein should win. Marty Supreme also has great production design. That could be a sneaky win here. Then we have the new kid on the block, which is Best Casting. The nominees are Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, and Sinners. I thought that this category was going to be a lot harder to predict, considering that we didn't have it at years prior. A lot of the time you can follow like a through line, but there is none for this. However, Sinners seems to be the pretty far favorite. I would also vote Sinners. I think, like, prior to seeing Sinners, I had not heard of Miles Caton. I had not heard of Wumi Masaka. I've heard that Delroy Lindo was, like, a pretty, like, maybe not like a big actor, but like a pretty notable actor. But I hadn't heard of him personally. So, like, I feel like they just kind of assembled a lot of people. I feel like that's the hallmark of good casting. Is, like, not when you can cast, like, these huge, like, massive celebrities that you already know can do the job, when you're like, oh, this guy who I've never heard of, this is our man. This guy is going to be the one to bring us what we need. And specifically, I think finding Miles Caton was a big win for Sinners. I think you could actually also say the same thing about One Battle After Another. I think Chase Infinity is excellent in that movie. I really wish that she would have been nominated, because I think it's hard to go toe-to-toe with Leonardo DiCaprio, but I think that she kind of does in that movie. But I think Sinners will be the winner here. Then we have editing. The nominees are F1, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. I think this is a big award, because I feel like very often they don't necessarily award the film that, like, is, like, the best from, like, an editing standpoint. They kind of go more in the direction of what's going to win Best Picture, like what the big contender is. Like, I feel like that's a very common, I could be wrong about that, but I feel like that's a very common thing that happens. That being said, I think that One Battle After Another will win. I don't really see anybody predicting anything but One Battle After Another, so this isn't like a hot take or anything. I would also pick One Battle After Another. I think the film is very well put together. It has a very good flow to it, as every Paul Thomas Anderson movie does. I also think that this is a big award because if Sinners were to win, I feel like its chances of winning picture definitely go up. Next, we have Best Cinematography. The nominees are Frankenstein, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Train Dreams. This is a great year for cinematography. I would be fine with pretty much any of these winning. Like, they're pretty consistently solid. That said, it boils down to two. That being Sinners and Train Dreams, which is a really tough battle because they're both excellent. I think I would give the edge for my favorite to Train Dreams. The whole movie, somewhat similar to something like Barry Lyndon, where like a lot of it looks like every shot kind of looks like a painting. And I think that there's something beautiful in that. A lot of what Train Dreams is about is like that the beauty of the natural world. And I feel like the cinematography does an excellent job at capturing it. That being said, I think that Sinners will win. I think Sinners is very impressive in the way that I think it uses the camera. Like, I feel like, I mean, you guys know the sequence that I'm talking about. Like, the way that they use the camera almost as like a character moving through all of that action is really good. It also has some very well shot action sequences. And it's very impressive how it's, I mean, like the middle section of the movie is kind of in one place, but it's still never visually disinteresting. Then we have Best Original Song. The nominees here are Dear Me from Diane Warren, Relentless, Golden from K-Pop Demon Hunters, I Lied to You from Sinners, Sweet Dreams of Joy from Viva Verdi, and Train Dreams from Train Dreams. Just like cinematography, I like every nominee here. I think Golden is 100% going to win. I feel like that's kind of a lock at this point. It really is a shame, though, because I Lied to You really should win. That is easily the best song of this bunch. I also think it's important to mention with the song category, something that I don't think that's taken into account as much as it should be, that should be taken into account, is how the song like interacts with the film, like the impact that it makes on the scene that it's in, or on the sequence that it's in, or so on and so forth. So as for Golden with K-Pop Demon Hunters, I think that it's a good sequence of the film. I think that it's used pretty well. Like it's very much like a hype song. Like it gets you excited and it works. Granted, I think that the I Lied to You sequence of Sinners, which I was talking about just a moment ago with cinematography, I think that it is a incredible sequence. Like, it's so interesting, so well done. It's just, the song, is so perfect in that sequence. And that, I think, is why it should win, because it's not best original song, it's best original song from a motion picture. So, I think that, the impact should be used in that. And I feel like I Lied to You's impact is just infinitely more than Golden's is. Then we have the Other Music Award, Best Original Score. The nominees here are Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. Again, a pretty solid category here. I think that I would vote for Sinners, and I think that Sinners will win. Crazy that this would be Ludwig Göransson's third Oscar. Then we have Best Documentary Feature Film. The nominees are The Alabama Solution, Come See Me in the Good Light, Cutting Through Rocks, Mr. Nobody Against Putin, and The Perfect Neighbor. This is the category that every year it happens to me. I say I'm going to watch one of the documentaries, and then it ends up being the only category that I've seen nothing in. That will not be the case this year. I will watch The Perfect Neighbor. It's on Netflix. It's like an hour and 30 minutes. I'm going to make it my mission to get through that before Oscar Sunday. That being said, I currently haven't seen any of these. I've heard that The Perfect Neighbor is going to win, so that's what I will be predicting. Then we have Best Animated Feature Film. The nominees are Arco, Elio, K-Pop Demon Hunters, Little Amelie or the Character of Rain, and Zootopia 2. I think K-Pop Demon Hunters has this in the bag. There's really no competition here. I guess, in an outside world, Zootopia 2 could win, but that is certainly not this world. I think, though, Zootopia 2 is what I would like to win. Then we have Best International Feature Film, with It Was Just an Accident, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Surat, and the voice of Hind Rajab. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that right. Don't hold me to that. I am not an expert in pronunciation at all. I would like Sentimental Value to win. That, easily, of the two that I've seen, the two Best Picture nominees here, Sentimental Value and The Secret Agent, I would far, far prefer Sentimental Value to win. It's one of my favorite movies of last year. I don't even know what to predict here. I'm seeing a lot of people going Sentimental Value. I feel like my gut says it's going to be The Secret Agent. I don't know why. I can't explain it. Maybe it's like the back-to-back Brazil wins. But I am going to predict The Secret Agent. That will either age incredibly well or incredibly poorly. We'll find out in a week. We have officially made it to the above the line categories, and let us start with adapted screenplay. The nominees are Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and Train Dreams. The screenplay categories seem to be kind of locks at this point. Paul Thomas Anderson will win for One Battle After Another, and I agree with this win. I think this is the right place to award PTA for that movie. Then we have Best Original Screenplay. The nominees are Blue Moon, It Was Just an Accident, Marty Supreme, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. I have not seen Blue Moon or It Was Just an Accident. Speaking of which, what happened to It Was Just an Accident? Everybody was saying it's getting into picture, could even get into director. People were hyping it up. It won. I'm pretty sure it won the Palme d'Or at Cannes. And then it just imploded. The nominees came out and it got beat by freaking F1. I don't know. It was just a weird situation. That being said, original screenplay will be Sinners. I would vote for Sinners. We have now made it to the acting categories. I have no idea what is going on right now. In past years, it's been pretty easy to predict. Last year, the past 2 years, the Best Actress races have been kind of up for grabs. But last year, for instance, in supporting, we all knew Kieran Culkin was winning. We all knew Zoe Saldana was winning. Year before that, we all knew that RDJ was winning. We all knew that Divine Joy Randolph was winning. And then even in the major categories, we all knew that Cillian Murphy was going to win. I just have no idea with these. Three of them are still up in the air. So let's start with supporting actor, I guess. The nominees are Benicio del Toro for One Battle After Another, Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein, Delroy Lindo for Sinners, Sean Penn for One Battle After Another, and Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value. This is maybe the best category of these Oscars. Everybody, if anybody in the category were to win, I would not, be mad. They're all really quite good. That being said, I think my favorite here is Stellan Skarsgård. I feel like he does a lot. I mean, the acting in that movie does the heavy lifting, and I feel like he does the most heavy lifting in the film. He has this ability to there's a look that he can give. It's incredible when an actor can just give a simple look, and that'll tell you more than 100-page book. I think that is truly the power of acting. And I feel like Stellan Skarsgård, he's very quiet in this performance, but it's so impactful, so powerful. I think my prediction, though, Sean Penn seems to have started to pull away. I know Skarsgård won the Golden Globes, Critics' Choice went to Elordi, but the big ones, the biggest precursors always seem to be the BAFTAs and the formerly known as the SAG Awards, now the Actor Awards. And Sean Penn won both of those big ones. So I think predicting Sean Penn is pretty safe here. Then we have Best Supporting Actress. The nominees here are Elle Fanning for Sentimental Value, Inge Ibsdottir-Lillies for Sentimental Value, Amy Madigan for Weapons, Wumi Misaka for Sinners, and Teyana Taylor for One Battle After Another. I would love to see Wumi Misaka win. I think that would be spectacular. I think she has just this... There's a gravity that she holds in her performance. She almost is the one that ties the film down. This is such a weird race, because Woomy Misaka won the BAFTAs, right? Amy Madigan won, I believe it was Critics' Choice and the Actor Awards. And then Teyana Taylor won the Golden Globes. Here's the thing. Basic knowledge would say that Amy Madigan is probably going to win, as she has the most recent win here. But this is where I'm going to get a little crazy. I still think that Teyana Taylor is going to win Best Supporting Actress. Am I crazy for saying that? Probably. We'll find out. She's in so little of the movie, which I think is the biggest thing going against her, but it's also the biggest thing going for her because of the fact that she's in so little, but she makes such a lasting impact. I don't know. I think it's going to be Taylor. Hot take. I think it's going to be Taylor. I'm probably going to be 100% wrong. You guys could all laugh at me come Sunday. But for now, I'm locking in Teyana Taylor. Then we have Best Lead Actor. The nominees are Timothée Chalamet in Marty Supreme, Leonardo DiCaprio in One Battle After Another, Ethan Hawke in Blue Moon, Michael B. Jordan in Sinners, and Wagner Moura in The Secret Agent. We all know at this point that it's between Chalamet and Michael B. Jordan. It looked like Chalamet was going to win it for the longest time. It seemed like he was pulling away. And then out of nowhere, Robert Aramayo, I think is his name, won at the BAFTAs. Never heard of the guy. Never heard of the movie he's in. Apparently, it hasn't even released in the US here. I think it'll be eligible for next year's Oscars. So it was a weird thing. And then we get to SAG. It's like, okay, Timmy's going to win here. He locks it up. And lo and behold, Michael B. Jordan comes out of nowhere, wins the award. Now apparently he's the favorite. So I don't even know what to do with this category. But listen, I'm gonna make my case here. Let's examine the 2024 Academy Awards, okay? Emma Stone won the Golden Globes. Granted, Lily Gladstone also won the Golden Globes because of the different acting categories. She won but Emma Stone won Golden Globes, she won Critics' Choice, and she won BAFTAs. She seemed like a lock for Best Actress. It was like, all right, Gladstone's time is done. Then, after only having won that one Golden Globe, Gladstone wins the Actor Award. Everybody starts to predict Gladstone. Everybody starts to jump on the hype train. She had like this late hype train. Comes Oscar Sunday, what happens? Emma Stone wins. Now, I don't know about you guys. I feel like it looks like a very similar narrative this year for Timothée Chalamet and Michael B. Jordan. Chalamet was like the front runner for so long, and then all of a sudden, it's like last minute, it's like, no, it's Michael B. Jordan. So I'm going to stick with Timothée Chalamet winning. Granted, I want Michael B. I'm saying that I want Michael B. Jordan to win. He is my pick. My mom made the best point to me, which is she was saying, she's like, he's literally playing two different people. Like, he's pulling, like, double the weight. And, like, that's a great point. Like, he is doing, like, double the work. It takes a lot to be able to play those two different characters by the same person, and they feel like totally different people. They feel like totally different fleshed out characters. I really would love to see Michael B. Jordan winning. But I don't know. I have a feeling. I think that this is Chalamet's time. I don't know what to do here, man. Then we get to Best Actress. The nominees are Jessie Buckley for Hamnet, Rose Byrne for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, Kate Hudson for Song Sung Blue, Renata Reinsve for Sentimental Value, and Emma Stone for Begonia. In a year in which it is so hard to predict the acting awards, this is the one that seems to be a lock. I think I saw Gold Derby has Jessie Buckley at 100% odds to win, which is crazy. That's ridiculous. I don't know as if it's that high, but I think this is the Jessie Buckley Award. Jessie Buckley will assuredly be winning. I have not seen If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. I heard that Rose Byrne is really good in that. However, I would love a sneaky Renata Reinsve win. I think she's really, really good in Sentimental Value. Granted, I personally would vote for Jessie Buckley. Then we have Best Director. The nominees are Chloe Zhao for Hamnet, Josh Safdie for Marty Supreme, Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another, Joachim Trier for Sentimental Value, and Ryan Coogler for Sinners. This is probably going to Paul Thomas Anderson. He's won pretty much every precursor you need to win. Like, he won the Globes, he won the BAFTAs, he won DGA, and he won Critics' Choice, I believe. Yeah, I think he won Critics' Choice. So it's looking like a lock. I will say, and this is weird because Paul Thomas Anderson is like one of my favorite directors of all time. I actually would vote for Coogler here. I think that Sinners is easily the most impressive directorial output from the past year. That being said, an interesting thing will happen, because if by some miracle Coogler wins director, which, like, it would be a miracle, like to get shut out of every major award and then win the Oscar would be insane. But if Coogler somehow wins, Sinners' chances of winning Best Picture go up exponentially. I think the narrative in which Sinners wins Best Picture is Coogler wins director and it wins editing. If it gets either one of those or both, I think it emerges as a possibility. Speaking of Best Picture, the final category of the night, the nominees are Begonia, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and Train Dreams. One Battle After Another will win. That's my prediction. However, I would like Sinners to win. Sinners, I think, is my favorite movie of last year. I've seen it twice now. I probably will see it a third time because my grandma wants to see it. I think that Sinners is a spectacular film. One Battle After Another is also very good. I'm not super mad at it winning. Like, I'm chill with that. I like it a lot more than, like, Anora from last year. Now, is there still a chance for Sinners is the big question. I say yes. Now, that's a very soft yes. As I said before, I think that if Sinners wins editing and or director, I think that its chances go up exponentially. I also think if Michael B. Jordan does pull out the win, that makes it a much bigger contender. Now, One Battle After Another won almost all of the precursors you need. It won PGA, it won the BAFTAs, it won the Golden Globes, it won the Critics' Choice. Sinners only picked up that SAG Ensemble Award. So it is looking like it's going to be One Battle After Another. I would not fully count out Sinners, but I think One Battle After Another will be your 2026 Best Picture of the Year. And that's it. Those are my predictions. We will see if this video ages well, or if I get every single category wrong. This is going to be a very interesting Oscars. I'm excited. I still need to watch a few movies before we get there. Still got to see Blue Moon. Still got to see some of the nominated short films. I will watch that documentary if it's the last thing I do. I will get around to that freaking documentary because I keep forgetting. But I truly do not know what's going to happen. And you know what? There's something exciting about that. I feel like the past few Oscars have been predictable in a lot of the major awards, and I think that there's something super exciting about actually, like, not knowing what's going to happen, about there still being, like, a chance for a lot of these movies. So we'll find out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Look out for my reaction to the Oscars video. My one from last year did super well, so clearly you guys liked it. I'll be making another one. Look out for that in the next upcoming days. Thank you very much. See you later.